Okay, 1924, good luck. Just gone green there. 9,000 games of rapid, that's really, really good. Okay, I'm just going to play a carrow. You can pretty much pre-move d5 into carrow. It's essentially your best move no matter what white does, but it is rapid, so I won't pre-move there, but I pretty much could do. Okay, so I'm still going to play this. Just take with the queen to keep the pawn structure intact. Now, do you want to play an endgame is a question. Goes with the knight. I wonder if I can play a pawn up here. It's a very unusual way to start with a carrow. I can wait for bishop up and then throw a check in. Then if queen blocks, I can maybe grab a pawn. I'm just going to be a little bit careful. I want to play knight up. If here, check, blocks, I think I can just grab a pawn as long as I'm not missing something with my king. I get my bishop into play as well. So now I think I can check. But can I? I don't have to. I can just drop the queen back and try and remove the bishop. Here. Obviously you can guard your pawn now, but we can trade. You can't castle. I could just drop back. Knight down might be a problem. Check. Blocks. Bishop takes. You just take back. It's whether I want to play an endgame or not. I could play a move like queen across. I don't want to leave the queen in the firing line though. What about check here? Then I've got the option to still drop back, but knight down is slightly annoying. Check. Yeah, I'm just going to play an endgame, I think. Just get developed and castled. I just got to be careful not to get trapped on. My opponent doesn't want to do that, so knight across might be a move now. This knight can obviously move, but if you go there to guard your bishop, knight here, I must be able to run, and there's a pin there as well. I'm going to play across and attack that bishop immediately and help guard this. Knight here, I guess, is a move, and I can maybe drop back. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get my queen trapped. It's a very unusual play out of the carrow. So this is not theory at all. Well, not for me anyway. Might be for my opponent if you play this line a lot. But if you move that knight, I can always just trade queen. So the knight's gone there. So what if I take? You take. Maybe you just take. I can just simplify everything off if I want. Again, is there any tricks? I don't see them. So I'm assuming I just want to drop back here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm still threatening to take the bishop next move. You might actually want to castle and do that and open a file. Takes, check, king into the corner. Very aggressive setup. Get the cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips. But yeah, at least it's not a dull, boring game, this one. Or it might end like one, but it's not started like one. But I am behind in king's safety development now. I need to get my bishop off f8. So it has come over. So I assume I just want to take this bishop on. I've got a chance to. That's what I'm going to do. Not burn too much clock. Goes with a pawn. So it's trying to open this file up. I'm going to go with g6 and try and get castled. Again, right now, if the knight moves, I can at least take a queen, even if I lose a queen. So I just want to get my bishop up and get castled, and then hope I'm defending okay. You might even go queenside. That wouldn't surprise me. Right now, there's a pawn there, so it doesn't do that. Now, I've actually got bishop here to attack a pawn. And also guards knight coming here. So I'm threatening to win a pawn, but I'm really just trying to get castled. That's the only aim there. But knight forward now. Okay, the queen hangs, but my queen would be under attack as well. Okay, it does push forward. So if I take there... I don't like the look of that. I think I should just castle. Right, I've got my king castled. This bishop can obviously drop back at some point. Just need to decide how I'm going to play this. Bishop up would be nice to get rid of that bishop, as long as I don't blunder some sort of fork with the knight. The queen has moved, so a knight up might be a move. If I go here, I'm restricting my queen a bit. So I like the look of bishop up here. Forward, takes. The queen can come right back. And I think I'm fine. So I'm going to play it and try and remove the defending bishop now that the pawn's come forward, but I've still got my bishop to drop back for my king. Pre-move in case takes. I don't think it will. I think a move like d5 is more likely, but let's just see. Yeah, has indeed played d5. So I think I should take that. If queen, I can always just take, but now I thought I could drop right back here. I've even got queen up maybe, but if I go here, it's kind of inviting the knight forward, so I'm going to come right back. This pawn, bit of a problem, could be lost. Bishop back is a threat to attack a pawn. Potentially anywhere. e6 might need to be played. I guess I'll pre-move to capture the bishop back if takes and just hope I'm not blundering. But yeah, this pawn could be a bit of a problem for me now because it's not easy to push. That's what my opponent has done. Now, do I play e6 while I've got a chance? Do I drop the bishop back and attack this pawn? Knight over might be a move. I've got to check first. King across, take with check. King up. I don't see what I'm gaining there. So it might be sensible to play e6 and try and trade off. Bring my bishop back. Ah, e6 I just simply lose a bishop, don't I? So that's not a move. That's not a move. I think I'm just going to trade the bishop. You can't take that in one go. You're going to take back here. So do I want to give up this bishop? Or do I come back? Do I accept this might be lost? I don't really want rook across. That doesn't look too good. Not easy, not easy. Rook across just really weakens this, and queen up, you're inviting the knight forward. Queen across then. I'm going to play queen across for now, but then this pawn is now loose, subject to a move like queen up. Maybe this, but I don't really see how I'm going to defend this pawn in the longer run. So I'll probably give up that pawn, play a move like bishop back. Going to be very, very tricky this game now, so I must have gone wrong somewhere out of the opening here. Yes, he's trying to double up, logical. So what if I go forward? That's no good. If I go here, you just take. Knight up. Maybe I can then argue that I can try and defend. I'm going to drop the bishop back first to get tempo attacking this pawn. And I've at least got the option of bishop f6. Even if it's not really a good move, I don't think. Knight across, you can imagine knight coming down. I'm just going to develop. If I lose a pawn, I lose a pawn. Could be worse. We can try and get the knight forward. Then we can maybe go here. Do I go there first? If you take, that's probably just simply good. Knight up. Queen across. Is no good for me. Bishop here, you've got knight down. Hold on, why can't I just grab the pawn? He's left the pawn hanging actually, hasn't he? Pawn for pawn. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take and just trust that I can swap a pawn for pawn and come back. I just have to hope that my king's defences are okay, but if I can get the bishop back and trust that my defences are okay, maybe bishop here first to kick that rook out. Let's go here just to hit the rook. Hope I'm not blundering. Try and kick the rook back somewhere. Then maybe a move like knight up. Imagine this pawn is a bit of a problem though now. Oh, he's gone there to sack. Okay. So can I do this and try and box the rook in? Here. I don't see how the queen attacks the bishop in one go. If I take right now, that's obviously no good for me. But I think knight up looks to be a move with a view to coming here. And you might have to sack. But you need to guard this pawn. I want to try and stop this pawn coming in. So maybe just a move like pawn up and plant my knight. Okay. But take here. If I take, you just take my rook with a check. Knight down now. Would you take? Take, check. King up, check. Say it was the rook. It could be the rook or the queen. But knight down, I might not get another chance, might I? Then I am threatening to take. I'm going to do it. It might be losing this, but I'm going to do it. Takes. You could take threatening a discovered check. King up, I think, is kind of forced. Rook check. I think I'm okay to take. Take. I think I am, but now I'm threatening to capture the rook. Take back. So there is a threat there. Maybe you can just simply ignore it, and that's what he's done. Okay. So I'm going to sack this pawn and try and go after the queen. I need to try and deal with these two. That's the main priority now. Oh, blimey, we're getting low on time as well. For a tricky position, that could be a real serious problem. I'm going to have to try and go after my opponent's king here. So a move like rook up is what I'm aiming for. If this pawn comes down the board, then it's just over, isn't it? How do I go after that king though? It looks really safe actually, very safe. And have I just blundered this as well? Did I actually blunder there? Or has my opponent just blundered? Potentially, or not really. Queen up's not a move right now, rook up is a move. But take, you can take. Knight check is covered. He's threatening knight takes, and if I take, you can take the knight. I can see the threat. Knight across feels too slow. But here, knight takes. I think I'm okay to take. Oh, I can't. No, takes here. Doesn't work for me. If I move, you can just take as well. Blimey. I'm going to have to take the knight there. Okay, now go after the queen. The pawn is what I really want. If I can just get that pawn, I'd be doing okay. But you can't easily defend it, this move, I don't think. How do you defend the pawn? If I can just get rid of this pawn, okay, I might lose this, but the immediate one move pressure is off. I've just realised queen across might pin the rook as well. Can he defend that if I find queen across? The pawn is a big threat right now though. So let's just see what white does here. We've still got 3 minutes on the clock, but not a lot of time. Depending on where the queen goes now though, queen across, if you can't defend the rook next move. So if I go across now, you can definitely defend the rook, can't you? So that's no good. Just grab and threaten a check, but you can still actually block the check and guard the rook. Can I create a counter attack? H5 looks sensible here actually. Knight comes forward. Okay. Threatening a check. I think I have to come across here. Now I expect queen across here and I might just be lost. Maybe I've got rook over. But then you've got knight check and I lose my queen actually. Could just be lost here. Queen might just win on the spot. But at least you're not then on the diagonal threatening checkmate. The knight can't move right now. So I think queen across looks forced. If I take, check, up, queen takes queen, but I take the knight. Or maybe I can just grab a pawn. Queen across, just grab the pawn, then my queen... Oh no, my queen is guarded, isn't it, by my rook? I'm confusing myself. If I take the rook, I'd be losing my queen. But right now, there was a really dangerous check there, and I'd be walking into a pin. If you block, I can just grab a pawn, I think. My queen is still guarded should you check. Then I can step up. Not easy though, not easy. And if you block and I go across, then my queen's not protected by anything, so then the discovered check works again. Okay. I can just pick up a rook, but you've got the same issue with a check. So he's still threatening the same thing. So what if I take knight check up? The knight moves away with a double check. That's a problem. So what about rook across? I think I'll play rook across here. And if knight check, I think I'll simply just take the knight, because the rook's hanging. But now I don't have pressure on the pawn. Very, very, very difficult. I can't easily play f6. Even if I push the pawn out the way, I'm still in a lot of difficulty if the knight gets here, because I can't step there. I still have to go into a check. So check now. What about knight across? Actually, yeah, what's wrong with knight across? Now I double cover this square. I threaten to take the knight with a check. Or just take the knight if it's left there. But now the knight check is definitely covered. I'm up a minute on the clock now. I need to use this extra time, but I've pre-moved in case takes the knight. That's a check in return. It feels like I'm through the worst now, but doesn't mean I am. One needs one simple mistake. Queen comes forward. Get rid of that knight. If you take with a queen, obviously the rook's going to be guarded, but I can pin the queen and get the queen off the board now. And maybe I can be a bit more adventurous, like queen up and try and somehow come around the back. But it feels a bit unnecessary, doesn't it? But this pawn is loose. Just pawn up, I think. If you come down, I simply collect the rook. Now queen up, I think, is more of a threat. Yeah, the rook's going to have to come off. That seems fine to me, though. Now, I assume I just play rook across or rook right over. I think I just come across and hit the pawn now. I can even spend a move going back here. I'm just running the clock down now. So it comes forward. Now again, if I go there, I blunder a check. Same issue. Let's start going after the white king. So queen forward. Hold on, check. I don't have a lot. I'm actually going to take. I'll just get behind. It should be good. I can just run my king up now, or this way. We've got an extra pawn here on this side, so this should be winning for us. So it's whether I sit. I think I go here. I'm just going to gradually push these pawns. Going to leave that one there. And we've managed to survive and get a good win. Excellent.